But this one particular night, I suppose there was maybe 40 or more people that came to the front. And included in it was a man and his wife and either 4 or 5 children. I wish I could tell you exactly, but there was a number of them there. And so I had counseled a couple of them, but the others I hadn't had anything to do with. But this little girl, she was 5 years of age, and she was sitting on the front pew with her legs swinging back and forth like this. This was after the meeting was over, of course, and a lot of counseling going on. So I walked over to her and I said, hi there, how are you doing, and whatever. And she said, not bad, or something like that. And I said, how old are you? She said, 5. Tears running down her face. And I said, what are you sitting here for? And she says, I want to be a Christian. I said, what are you now? She said, a wicked sinner. I said, who told you that? She said, God did. When? While you were preaching. What did I preach? And she laid it out. 5-year-old girl. Just so beautifully, I would have thought it was some theologian laying it out. And she just put it out like that. This is what you're preaching on. It was marvelous. And so I said, well, let's go in this little room here. And we went up to this other room and did some praying. And then I said, now, you tell me the kind of sins you've committed. Oh, she said, they're bad. And tears still run down her face. She wasn't weeping, that is audibly, but the tears running down. And she said, I've committed murder. And I said, now, hold on. How have you committed murder? And she said, well, there's a little girl in kindergarten that I can't stand, and I wish that she would drop dead. And she said, that's murder. I said, who told you that? She said, God did. When? While you were preaching tonight. Everything I said to her, I'd say, who told you that? She'd say, God did. She never once said the preacher did. I so appreciate that. It shows the Spirit of God is working in her heart. And so then she mentioned stealing from her mother's purse some pennies. She said, that makes me a thief, she said. And they killed thieves in Jesus' day. You know, this sort of thing. And one thing after another, she just kept bringing it up. That was marvelous. Finally, I said, well, what do you want to do about it? She says, I want to make it all right with God. And this little 5-year-old got on her knees and poured out her heart and confessed these sins. I didn't have to prompt her at all. And she repented of them, no doubt about it. And she got up, and when she got up, her face was just transformed. Tears were dried up, and she was just, oh, so happy. And it was afterwards that I found out she was the youngest member of this family. The whole family got saved that night. It was a marvelous thing. So we saw the Lord do some great and mighty things there at Wymark.
This was an excerpt from the full video, Remarkable Occurrences in the Ministry by Keith MacLeod. You can watch the rest on I'llBeHonest.com